Greetings, good people. Welcome to a book reading of Tell Me Again Why These Mostly Black Players Are Not in the Hall of Fame. Is It Racial? My name is Sheldon Curry. I'm the author of the book, a book I finished in August 2021. And I'm hoping that my excerpts will give you a good feel for what the book is. It's a book that juxtaposes race, bias in the Baseball Hall of Fame process. It's centered around me profiling 13 deserving black players who should have been in the Hall of Fame that played primarily between 1950 and 1980. And I also profiled 15 Negro League players, and there was a dozen or so other topics that I dealt with. And one of the themes in the book was to ensure that people know that I believe that the Baseball Hall of Fame process, though not life and death, is a microcosm of American society, because when they fail to properly honor black folks, it's easier to demonize us and do the things that we've seen, unfortunately, throughout our history here. Before I get into the excerpts, the hard copy book is 1,831 pages. Then the book is available on Amazon.com in their e-reader Kindle library, so you can purchase it there for $29.99. You can also look at a sample. I will let you know at the end of the program about how to purchase limited copies of the hardcover book. So without further ado, I want to get started. And in the excerpts, I'm going to try to give a good cross-section of what the book will be about. This book is a lot about not only race and process and stats and comparative analysis, but it's so much more. And of course, I would be here all day if I tried to do excerpts from the entire book. But I'm hopefully to give you a good cross-section of what the book is about and kind of titillate you a little bit to want to hear more. And here we go. Now, also in the introduction and methodology section, there's a small excerpt I have called The Fallacy of the Elimination of Racism. For those who are skeptics and short-sighted when it comes to issues of a serious nature, remember, racism and discrimination have been so embedded in American society that as circumstances appear to improve, there's a lot more to be done. The fallacy of the elimination of racism principally has its roots in a number of white institutions and individuals, particularly those with influence, not wanting to be held accountable for the heinous acts perpetrated for centuries, as well as the misguided notion that because of some progress and civil rights legislation and the election of a black president, that racism does not exist. I will illustrate through use of some data, pertinent examples, and anecdotes this is far from the case. Therefore, when you look at Cooperstown, the voting results and the lack of support for several black players, bias may not be overt, it may not be intentional, but clearly there has been a minimization, I don't know why I can't say that all of a sudden, of the achievements of several black players to the point they're being unjustly omitted from Cooperstown. And this is a microcosm of greater society. Also, it is instructive to list those selective comments made a generation or so ago regarding aspects of race juxtaposed with the number of critical issues we have seen as a country just in the last 2 or 3 years or so. It clearly encapsulates how this issue is not some long ago problem. Now, this was in speaking to a number of considerations in the book where I tell the reader why I believe that we're obviously not in a post-racial society. And the reason I felt I needed to do it, because when I started writing the book in 2012, it was the last year of President Obama's first term. And so many people were talking about, racism was over, blah, blah, blah. And so I felt if I was going to write a book like this, I needed to kind of speak a lot to why it wasn't. So there's a lot of discussion in here about that, just for those who might be open-minded but claim they didn't know. So that's why there's a lot of discussion about race and examples in here to let people know that no, we're not in a post-racial society.